Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Today we will be talking about an important aspect of horoscopy or astrology which is related to your work life or your career. A lot of information is available in various ancient texts, whether it is the Parashar books or the Deepika, or even in Germany astrology, on how career should be seen from your horoscope, and a lot of importance is given to the D9 chart or the Dashamsa, or also called as the Dashmansh. Now, how important is the analysis of the Dashmansha and how critical a role that does it play in your work life and in your career? Does it give clear indications to your work life, to your career, and what your career can be? So let's talk about it and let's see how your D10 chart or your Dashamsha or your Dashmansh chart should be analyzed. Firstly, it is very important to note that any output that you see, any result that you see, or any probable result that you see from your horoscope, mainly it should be seen from the lagna chart itself, that is the D1 chart itself, and only as a validation of the probable output that you see from the D1 chart, the lagna chart, should be depend on the divisional charts. So divisional charts are nothing but a finer look at, or a microscopic or look, or a more closer look at what the lagna chart is telling you. If a lagna chart is not able to give you some pointers, very strong pointers to an area of life, then the divisional chart cannot give you a very different assertion from what the lagna chart is doing. You will not find such results unless and until the lagna chart is pointing you towards some results. Only then will the divisional charts also add value to it. So one of the important things is the divisional charts are created from the lagna chart itself. It is not a different aspect or a different horoscope. So if the lagna chart is like a full pizza, the divisional chart is like a piece of the pizza, but the piece of the pizza is from the pizza itself. It is not different. So you cannot completely do away with the lagna chart analysis and depend only on a divisional chart to validate a result. So for example, to see relationships, one should look at the D7 or the 7th house in the D1 chart and then validate what the 7th house sign, 7th lord, and planets in the 7th house, aspects on the 7th house, and conjunctions in it all put together are giving you, and validate those from the Navmanch also. And you will find that most of the things that the lagna chart is saying, to a large extent the Navmanch is also pointing towards that, with some finer details here and there. You will never have a situation where the lagna chart is saying something completely different from what the Navmanch chart is saying from a relationship aspect. Similarly, you will find that the Dashmansh or the D10 chart will be giving you finer aspects or a closer look at what the lagna chart is telling you, what the career will be or the work life will be, and it will not give you very different results. If you are getting very different results from the D10 chart analysis from what the lagna chart is telling you, then definitely there is a problem or a challenge in how you are looking at the overall analysis. So how do we look at the Dashmansh or the D10 chart? Firstly, what is the D10 chart? Now, the divisional charts are nothing but the divisions of the signs as they are placed in the houses in the lagna chart. For example, if your lagna is Aries, then of the Aries sign you are making 9 divisions of the sign and then placing them into different houses and giving you a lagna for the Navman chart, and where the planets are placed in the lagna chart basis the degrees, the Navmansh is created accordingly, and similarly the Dashmansh also. So for example, if you find that Mars is placed in Aries in the lagna chart and Aries is also the ascendant, then you will find, and if Mars is within the first 3 degrees, then Mars will also be seen in the Aries sign in the Dashmansh also. Why? Because the Dashmansh, as we said, is 10 divisions of a sign. Now a sign has 30 degrees. So 10 divisions means each division will have 3 degrees. So if Mars is within the first 3 degrees in a sign, then Mars will be in the same sign in the D10 chart also, if it's in the first 3 degrees and it's placed in a certain sign. If it's more than 3 degrees and it goes into the Taurus part of the sign, then it will be seen in the Taurus sign in the D10 chart. And wherever Taurus sign is, in which house it is, the planet will be placed in that house and in the Taurus sign in the Dashmansh chart. So that's how the Dashmansh is created. You make 10 divisions of a sign, then basis the 10 divisions where the planets are and the placement of the, and at what degree the ascendant is. From there you create ascendant for the D10 chart, and you also create the houses accordingly and place the planets basis what degrees gain the lagna chart. So it's more as a finer aspect or the finer division of the lagna chart of each sign into 10 parts of 3 degrees each, and that is creates the Dashmansh. And then you have the ascendant, and you also have the planets placed in various houses and various signs. So if Dashmansh is a finer division of the lagna chart, then you have to look at both the lagna and the Dashmansh. So you have to look at what the lagna chart is saying, and at a finer, closer degree, what is the D10 chart saying. So how do you amalgamate or see them together? Because this is important that you see them together. So for example, first thing you need to see is that which sign rules the 10th house and where is the lord of the 10th house placed. So if you have a Aries ascendant, then the 10th house is Capricorn. Then you have to see where is Saturn placed in the lagna chart, which house is it placed in and what sign it is placed in and what conjunctions it is placed in. What is the strength? Is it creating some Raj Yogas? Does it have any negative aspects on it? Does it have bad conjunctions? For example, Saturn placed in the Vish Yoga with Moon, or Saturn placed in a Shapit Dosh with a Rahu, or Bandhan Dosh with Jupiter, or eclipsed by Rahu or Ketu, or also combusted by the Sun, for example. So you have to look at these aspects also of where the 10th lord is placed and what is the health or the dignity of the 10th lord. That is very, very important. Second thing to be seen is which is the planet with the second highest degrees from a Gemini astrology point of view. Which is the planet which has the second highest degrees in the horoscope. That is called as the Amartya Karaka. The Amartya Karaka will also give you what is the work life and where will be the work life for the individual. So a combination of the 10th lord, its health, its dignity, the Atma Karaka, the planet with the second highest degrees, this will be crucial in finding what will be the output of the career. So based on where the planets are placed, you will find a combination of planets energies working out together to give you a career. So for example, if it's Aries ascendant and Saturn is placed in, for example, the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of speculation. Also areas related to finance, accounts, areas for children. So somebody who has the 10th lord in the 5th house, you may find that the person may either be in speculative businesses where you have ups and downs daily, like jewelry business where the prices of gold and silver go up and down every day, or in stock market where the stocks rates go up and down every day, or in those areas where you have day to day business output. So for example, having a shop where every day may be a new day for you. Some day may be good business where more customers come in, some day less customers may come in. And the 5th house is also the house of education. So somebody may be running a stationery or selling books, academic books. Fifth house is also the house of children. So somebody may be creating things, items for children, creating clothes for children, or making games for children, or sports items for children. So that is also seen. But whether the person is into sports items or educational items or clothes, and whether it is in children's area or in finance or stocks, etc., will be seen as a combination of energy of the 10th Lord placed in the 5th house and where the Atma Karaka is. So if the Atma Karaka is Venus, and if the 10th Lord Saturn is sharing some energies with Venus either through aspect or through conjunction, or Venus is placed in the 10th house or even in the 11th house in the sign of Saturn, so it is then sharing energies with Saturn, then there will be an influence of Venus or Venus areas in the work life of this individual, and so there will be a higher chance that the person is related to Venus areas like clothes or items related to clothing or uniforms or those items which are of more luxurious nature. So you will find hard books, story books of very good quality, stationery where you keep very expensive items for children. So if you are keeping colors, the colors will be of a very good quality and higher price, because Venus relates to better quality luxurious products. So a person who has the 10th Lord Saturn in the 5th house having an aspect of Venus will have from the 11th house will have higher chance that the person may indulge in or be in a business which has a combination of Saturn energies, Venus energies and the 5th house energies. Other thing is, are there any planets placed with Saturn in the 5th house? And basis that you then see where is that planet placed in the Dashamsa or the Dashmanch or the D10 chart. Now basis what is the Lord of the 10th house and where it is placed in the lagna chart, and where is Saturn which rules the 10th house in the lagna chart placed in the Dashmanch, the sharing of energies together will give you a career, and you will find that the D10 will validate what the lagna chart is saying. The other important part is what are the conjunctions which are in the D10 in the 10th house, and where is the lagna lord of the D10. So for example, if the D10 chart lagna is Cancer, ascendant is Cancer, then automatically the 10th house is Aries. Then you will have to see the 10th lord of the D10 chart, that is the Dashman chart, Mars, where it is placed in the lagna chart, and is it sharing any energies with the 10th house or with Saturn or with the 6th house. 6th house is the house of service, or the 2nd house which is the house of earnings. So the D10 chart 10th house lord will have to will give some area of results where it's connected to the lagna chart, and in the area it is connected. So for example, if D10 lord if D10 ascendant is Cancer and the D10 10th house will be Aries, so Mars placement in the lagna chart will give you high analysis or high output of where the effort will go, because Mars is the planet of effort. Where will the person put higher effort in his work life, and what will be the result that the person can get. So if Mars in the lagna chart is placed in the 3rd house, then the effort will go in matters of communication, marketing, branding, self-run business or consulting, or in armed forces or constabulary or in manufacturing. So you will have to see a combination of what the D10th lord is doing in the lagna chart. Also, where is the lagna lord of the D10 chart placed in the lagna of the D1 chart, and where is the sharing of energies. That's why the career analysis just by looking at the lagna or the D10 is not very easy to make out, because many times the person may have not one but more than one career. Also many people may start off the education in one field but midstream change, and almost 80 to 90% of the people will find some or the other change in their career. Sometimes they start a career in one line but they end up into another thing. They may change industries, even if they work with us, they are doing the same thing, but they may change the industry. Somebody who starts off as a lawyer may later on become a judge, and rather than fighting cases for, will now be educating cases and will be other end of the same courtroom. Or the person may end up having a law firm where himself, while he is a lawyer, he is not fighting cases for clients, but he has a law firm where he has people working for him, and now he has a business and he has a consulting firm more than being a lawyer himself. A consulting firm will be seen more through how Jupiter is sharing energies along with Saturn and the D10 chart for a consulting to run. Why? Because Jupiter is the advisor, the wise person, and consulting means advising, guiding, directing, helping, supporting. So unless the D10 chart has the D10 Lord or the Lagna Lord sharing energies with Jupiter in the Lagna chart, a consulting work or consulting approach or consulting business will not bear fruits for the native. That's why it's important to see a combination of the Lagna chart along with the D10 chart analysis rather than seeing only the D10 chart alone. Also, the D10, the 10th house Lord in the D10 chart, which is the nakshatra where it is placed in the Lagna chart, that is the key to say where the effort will go and what nakshatra is ruling it. So, for example, if the 10th Lord of the D10 chart goes into Aslesha, then the person may get into businesses related to the Aslesha nakshatra. The person may be doing business related to spirits or alcohol or chemicals. So, one needs to see where the planetary energy is also going, what nakshatra it is going. If the person is not dealing in these, then the person may be a trader in chemicals or any liquids. What liquids could be, that is a finer aspect of, or the finer details that the nakshatra and the D10 Lord will give you together. So, for example, instead of Mars being the 10th Lord of the D10 chart, if you find Venus is the 10th Lord and going into Aslesha, then probably the person will be selling liquor, but of very high quality, maybe in selling wines or even in perfumes, because perfumes is also nothing but an alcohol. So, that combination one will have to see between the D10 chart, 10th Lord and Lagna Lord, and also where it is placed in the Lagna chart itself, and how they are sharing energies with the Amatya Karaka. And the next important thing is to see what are the conjunctions and whether they are having any Raj Yogas. The Raj Yogas will tell you how strong or what kind of success the person will get in his career. If the 10th Lord of the D10 chart is debilitated or is in the 8th house in the Lagna chart, then the person will find a lot of obstacles and hiccups in his career and may even change his jobs many times. He may remain in the same line. He may be, say for example, he is into accounts, but he may change jobs in many companies before he finally gets success. So, that's why it's important to see what is the status of the D10 chart, 10th Lord also, and where it is placed in the Lagna chart, and whether it is sharing any energies with the 10th Lord of the Lagna chart. So, you will have to see a combination of these factors. As we said, the D1 chart being Aries, for example, and D10 chart ascendant being Cancer, then you will have to see how Mars and Moon are together giving you along with Saturn, because Saturn is the significator and the Karaka of the 10th house, and also the significator of the D10 chart. So, Saturn is very, very important because Saturn also determines your karma, being the natural ruler of the 10th house, and where your karma is going, where your actions will be, how organized you are in your work, how disciplined you are in approach. So, combination of these 4-5 factors together will give you what your career will be. And then the last thing, what dasha you are running will primarily determine where your success may come or your success may not come, or whether you run into more obstacles or you will get more success. If your Venus is very well placed, and Venus is the Amatya Karaka, and Venus is also the 10th lord of the D10 chart and the Venus Dasha is on, then you have a higher chance, a high probability that you may get higher success. However, if Rahu is placed with Venus in the 10th house in the D10 chart, then during the Rahu Dasha you will find more obstacles, more challenges, and you will find also there are more people who are also competing with you during that phase in your life. So the Dasha system, the Dasha will also give you a high chance of whether you will get success or not, or where you get success. And that's why when the Dasha changes, many times people don't get success in the same area which they were doing earlier, and many times they change the career also. And sometimes after changing the career, after when the Dasha changes, they get more success. So that's why you should not see only the D1 chart, 10th lord and 10th lord situation in the lagna chart alone, or the Dashmansha, the D10 chart and the 10th lord and the lagna lord of the D10 chart alone, or the conjunctions and the Raj Yogas alone, or the Dasha alone. You have to see a combination of factors, and based on that you have to see, analyze where the career will be successful, which area you will be successful, during which Dasha you will find ups and downs, and overall which planets will be beneficial to you, and you should take that up, and whether you will be successful in service or you will be successful in business. So friend, this is my analysis of how one should look at the D10 chart in lieu with the lagna chart, and how the Amatya Karaka and then the 10th lord of the D10 chart along with the lagna lord, their share energies and how they play a role along with Saturn, and how these combination of factors together give you success in your work life or your career. So friends, please like this video, please share this video, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new video is coming. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you are looking for a consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below in the description box. And till some other video, let's meet again. Ciao.